There he is. What up, sir?
Man, what's the word, man? I know it's a little brighter in here than before, than the test pressing. It's a little brighter than the test pressing, but you know.
That's good right there, as long as we can see you. Yep. I do the same. I mess with my lights and whatnot. Yeah, man. What's going on, sir?
Feeling fresh, man. I had a long little, well, not even a little, big, incredible 4-hour workshop today.
Yeah.
Brothers and sisters over at the African Martial Arts Institute. And yeah, man, it didn't feel like 4 hours until I sat down afterwards.
Mm-hmm. You had it going. All right, I'm gonna peel it up. We're gonna bring it back. We'll set it up. Listen. Thank you for tuning in to the Basement Flavor. My name's Gabron. That's Mr. Mortal. And my man's right here is Mighty Flux Wonder Bat from the Binkis Records. That's my man right there. I'm so glad you joined us.
What up? What up? What up?
Let's crack into it. So
where the crowd noise at?
So wait, you doing kung fu? You saying?
Nah, man. I said martial arts. Let me say kung fu, man.
Okay. No. I know there's differences. You do self-defense stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure. Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed, G. So how y'all feeling today?
We're doing good. We just waiting on you.
Yeah, I feel good. I'm excited. The show is.
Before I got up in here, what you talking about, man? I was doing y'all thing, Jesus.
That's it. All right, so listen, I want to go back. I'm really eager to get to this music, but I got to do this right. And I just want to say that I appreciate you, first of all. You know what I mean? I appreciate what you do musically, and I love the art. And I kind of want to take a little bit of time and get into that. And kind of just maybe let's go back a little bit to some of your inspirations. Like, have you always been, have you always been doodling and whatnot and developed? Like, when does kick in for you?
Art, visual art?
Yeah. What got you to where you're at now?
Shit, man, a lot of people, honestly, a lot of inspirations got me to where I'm at now. But it all started with, I mean, you're not too conscious of your surroundings so much when you like 2 and 3 years old, but I know I felt the urge to do something. There's certain things I remember doing at a young age where I was like, I'm gonna do this. And scribbling on my mother's walls was one of them. I remember when I said it in my head, I don't remember what I said I was gonna try to create, but I remember scribbling them different colors on the wall, the back of her door. It might have looked like a wall, but it was probably the back of her door.
Did she hand you a sponge after? Say, clean that up?
She probably hit me with more than a sponge.
Yes, sir.
But it was on the back of the door for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But, that was one of the things. Etching Batman. I always tell people this: etching Batman in one of the coffee tables. Man, and me looking at it like, yo, this is gonna be amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I to draw fingers. It was like big circles. That's what represented fingers. I remember drawing Batman fingers like, yeah, yo, Batman gonna be on the coffee table. You know what I'm saying? And then big inspiration was my brother. My brother and my father to an extent, because they both collected comic books. You know what I mean? My moms and pops, they always got the Sunday papers. So I had the Sunday funnies,
the funnies.
You know what I mean? So I would always look at comic strips, cartoons. I was always a fan of cartoons. But my brother, he used to draw when, probably by that time, he may have been about maybe about 14, 15 or something like that. And he was drawing, you know, he had How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. So he would draw some of that stuff in there. It wasn't, I don't know if he was just dipping and dabbing, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
he did graffiti too. You know what I'm saying? He had his own set of letters that he created. You know, he used to call
them, style.
Yeah, he had his own little style. He went by a couple different names, you know what I'm saying? But one of them was Sing, S-I-N-G. That's one of the reasons why I took that shortening the singleton, him and my pops. And also, like he used to write Cool Breeze too. You know what I'm saying? He had his thing going. So looking at some of his stuff, I would start looking at it and trying to copy it. You know what I mean? And it was just something in me that was like, yeah, keep doing that. Oh, yeah, the comic book. Oh, let me try to draw that. You know what I'm saying? And I just kept on doing it. Like even in elementary school, I remember me and my man Brandon Williams, we used to go back and forth drawing stuff, Spider-Man, and ninjas, and Rapunzel, you know, the Prince climbing Rapunzel tower, and like we used to do all that type of goofy stuff, try to draw the A-team and everything. So it just kept on growing from there.
You're hitting all kind of check boxes for my man Mortal here. Like, you love his comics, you know? You singing his tune, you know?
Yeah, so, man, it was that. That's what it was about back then.
Right. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you went to, your high school was like the art high school. Am I correct in thinking that?
Yeah, we went to the High School of Art and Design. When I say we, I'm talking about me and my brother Jax.
Okay.
And,
what was that like? That's still, that type of school is still 9 through 12.
Yeah, 9 through 12. I mean, high school in that manner, but in New York, we have vocational high school. Down here in Atlanta, they call them magnet school. Well, no, they call them, I forget what they call them down here. But
this is in New York.
School. Yeah, and the way it is, like in 8th grade, when you're getting ready to go to a high school, they give you a thick book. You know what I mean? I'm a hoarder, so I think I still got that book. But it's like a big book with all the high schools in New York City, and it tells you what they specialize in. So in that book is where I found the art and design, but my mother put me up on it first. She was like, yo, you know you could go to a high school of art and design. I was like, what? She was like, yeah, you can go to school, you can go to high school for art. And I was like, that's all they doing?
Like, that's what I mean. You still got to take math and English and all that, right? But you get to be creative.
Yeah, I mean, our high school is at a time where people went to trade high schools. You know what I mean? So basically, your high school was pre-course for college, like if you wanted to take it further. But it wasn't like you could almost go professional. I'll say this. What I learned in there, when I got to college, it was like I was doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I already did it. By the time we went to, by the time we was a sophomore, you had to pick what your major was going to be. And from 11th and 12th grade, about 3 to 4 of your classes is going to be a major. Then you have like, you know, gym, math, reading, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever classes go connect to your major. You know what I'm saying? Like we had to learn marketing and psychology.
Which is important. Which is important outside of all that.
So, you know, we had to take that. That's where I kind of first learned how, you know, advertising companies or companies, corporations manipulate people when they're doing things. That's where I learned that.
Right. But it's giving you the tools. It's showing you other avenues to take your art, other ways to make a living.
Well.
Yeah, maybe some things you weren't thinking of. So overall, good experience. Like
no maybe, no maybe about it.
Right.
As a youth, before I got there, it was like you see art all around, but most people don't recognize it, right? So it's like you have we had photography there. We had cartooning, illustration. We had graphic design. We had advertising. We had architecture. You know what I mean? And even more stuff pertaining to those majors, right? And even before I got there, they had pottery. You know what I mean? We had airbrushing classes. They had so many different other classes that we couldn't participate in because the money and the funding for the school went down. You know what I mean? But it was there. You know what I mean? One of the top schools in terms of art in the country. You know what I'm saying? So it was a great experience. You know what I mean? And then that was like my first time meeting different cultures or different people from, people from different backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? And
starting to fold the personalities.
Yeah, different boroughs. You know what I mean?
Where was the school?
It was in Manhattan.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah. Yep.
So you had people from Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island, Bronx, Harlem, Staten Island. Like you had people from all boroughs.
I feel that.
And I mean, most of us is artists too. So you could imagine being around artists all day.
All that creativity.
Yeah.
No, I can feel that. So what I want to do is I want to kind of draw the line. Like, I don't want to skip too much, but like, how do you get to Atlanta and how do you get to the Heavy Clouds event? Like how, like, you know what I mean? Like,
hey, that's like,
it's a big jump, right?
It's decade segments like, right there.
No, this is jump around 20 decades or 20 years real quick.
Right.
You know?
So how I get to Atlanta, that was by my bad direction of how I was going to live the rest of my life, right? So I didn't really know where I was going to go with college. I just knew I wanted to get out of New York at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I wanted to see something else, right?
This is the 90s, right? Some point in like mid-90s?
94, 93, 94. So, same year, Black Moon, Wu-Tang, J. Damager, Nas, Snoop, all those great albums came out, you know what I mean, that we vibing to.
That's it. The foundation of some stuff here.
I'm just soaking that up, you know what I mean? Just soaking it up, but I didn't know where I was going to go. Jax knew he was going to go to Clark, Atlanta. I was like, oh, okay, that's what's up. I figured I was going to go to North Carolina Central. Didn't get in, right? So then it was like, okay, where I'm going to go now? So I just started picking colleges out the hat. I ain't even really thinking. You know what I'm saying? I'm just picking colleges out the hat. Oh, maybe I'll go to Delaware. Maybe I'll go to Florida. I'm just like, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So the whole time, again, it's summertime. Biggie album come out that summer too. Like that was probably the hot shit for that summer, right?
Yep.
So, through all this process, I'm just like, man, I don't know where I'm gonna go. And I know schools start in the fall. So I'm just like,
find some.
Yeah, I don't know. So I talked to my homeboy, Universal Pay Dues, my brother. He was like, yo, I'm going to the Art Institute. I was like, oh, where that at? He's like, oh, it's in Atlanta. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, yo, they check SAT scores? He was like, nah. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, you
that
word?
Right.
Like, so I was like, oh, I might just go to the Art Institute. And it didn't really dawn on me that, my sister lived here. You know what I'm saying? My sister lived in Atlanta 3 years prior to me coming down here. you know.
So that can establish some home base, or at least someone, you know, face right there.
He was there. I had cousins on my father's side that's down here. I mean, it was about, at the time, it was about a good 10 or more. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, well, shoot. I was like, shoot, Jack's down there too? I was like, man, I'm going to go to Atlanta. So
let me go.
I got to Atlanta that fall. You know what I mean? They started classes, I want to say in October. October 3rd was the first class.
Yep.
So
jumped in,
and it was just a whole new world, man.
Right.
Beautiful world. As you can see, I'm still here. So it was just culture shock to an extent, but it helped me to understand a lot in a lot of different people, because sometimes folks growing up in New York, we live in a bubble because everything is there.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? It's the advertising capital of the world. You had the World Trade Center there.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? It's one of the biggest subway transit systems, you know what I mean? So it's like, what else? Get out. Some people don't even leave their borough, you know what I mean?
Correct. I can relate to what you're saying, because I was in the service for a little while, and just meeting people from all over the country.
Right.
It just like all the different personalities. I mean, thousands of people you're interacting with.
And the similarities.
Correct. You know, and you start to learn, you know, people are people, you know, you start to see, like, you know, I just could relate to anybody that worked hard, you know, no matter what was going on. I was like, oh, and you just learn. One thing I learned is your mama jokes don't translate across the country the same way. They don't hit the same. They don't hit the same, right? My guy was from Mississippi, and we just grew up like that. We just snapped our moms. That's what it was. And forbid, God forbid, if we learned like your mom's first name, it was a wrap. Like you would never, there'd never be any chill. Long story short, my man was from Mississippi, big dude. And it just came out naturally one day. It was just kind of how we grew up snapping. And he let me know real quick that we don't talk about his mom, and that's not the way they do it. They don't get down like that. And because it wasn't personal, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? It was just a snap.
All right, so who could get it off the best?
That's it. He said, we respect our moms and all. I'm like, yo, we do too, yo. I mean, I get it. So the point being, that's just a silly example, but getting away from where you grow up or moving every once in a while, it's important just to kind of change, you know, your surroundings and whatnot, you know? So, I mean, I'm always going to stem the music when I'm talking to you, but I'm thinking like you're in Atlanta, but like, y'all making like New York shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the records are like New York. Like I just identify. It don't sound like Atlanta to me. It just sounds like boom bap. You know what I mean? And I don't want to stay on that topic too long, but I'm just saying like you're still yourself transplanted somewhere else. You know what I mean?
So you always. I mean, we from New York, so that's just what it is.
It ain't gonna go away. Yeah.
The thing about it is, again, meeting people from different places. They showcase different music. They appreciate different music, and it taught me.
I had that experience too. Yeah,
it taught me a lot about appreciation. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I'm a hip hop head. You know what I mean? I'm not always the best with memory of certain things, but I just love music, especially coming up in the '90s. It was like, it was like. Hip hop, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, me and Jax being from New York, you know, we and my man Pay Dues, Universal Pay Dues, that was just what we was on. But the crew that we ran into and that we became a part of was also hip hop heads. You know what I'm saying? But they was from Mobile, Alabama. They was from Houston. They was from Birmingham. They was from Chicago. They was from Boston. They was from California. They was
you
from
get all these transplants.
You know what I'm saying? They were from Tennessee. It was the crew was called Neblos. You know what I'm saying? So that shirt that I was wearing in the promo, where it said Neblos, that was the crew that we part of. My man over from Milwaukee. It was just like they was from all over the place, all over the map. So with the same appreciation. You know what I'm saying? So when we started creating music, a lot of those brothers was influence on us as well. You know what I'm saying? And it was and being a MC, was striving to be an MC, you always studying the greats. You know what I'm saying? You studying music. So with the stuff that they like that I never listened to when I was in New York, I started to get open ear to and study those cats. And then be like, oh, I like this style about them, or I like the way they do this pattern, or oh, I can see this type of consciousness in their music, or this topic. You know what I mean? It taught me a lot. You know what I'm saying? So from that, that's putting in what we put in. That's just how it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When you're saying those areas, I'm thinking of like Rap A Lot, Cash Money. I'm thinking about how their artwork looked. Like those companies had their own.
Yeah, they had their own look.
You knew what it was.
Style. Yeah. It was dope, man. I mean, and I was fortunate enough to have those brothers and sisters surround me that I grew from that. You know what I mean?
I don't want to jump too far, but like, is that, you starting to, I know the story behind this, you know what I'm saying? But like, is this the kind of, you starting to, are you drawing like that at this point? Is that
I'm developing, you know what I'm saying? That was another thing, same influences, right? So brothers that was in my crew in Neblos, there's another crew called BGP, which was ran by my man, Maya. Maya Bailey, City of Ink. And then those things, those types of illustrations and things came into the fold. And it was like being around all those same brothers who was artists, right? And seeing their different styles. And we, having inside competitions with each other, just like, oh, yo, look what I did. And then be like, oh, shit. Let me try to draw some shit. And then it was like being around those brothers made me better. You know what I'm saying? So I started to explore different styles. And being in school, you start to catch up with art history. So those things were very influential to showing me different styles. And then I'm trying them out. But then, of course, the whole thing is to be unique. So I start to incorporate what about the style that I like, whether it's the line work, whether it's the simplicity, whether it's the abstract, aspects of the pieces. And me experimenting with those things over time helped me to develop the style that I got now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you just showed that the Binkis first album cover, that was a logo idea from my man Jack.
I know.
And it took me a minute to get it. You know what I'm saying? It took me a minute to get that type of energy.
Why'd they do this to me? Like, yo.
Yeah, it was like when I did it, it was just like I knew what I was going after. You know what I'm saying? So
right, got hit in the head like a rock in a sock.
That was it.
That's it.
Yeah.
I keep going to the music. Let's stay over here real quick. Mortal, I didn't give you the picture of this, but I'm gonna throw up the butterfly real quick.
Okay, what up?
So I got a few of your pieces here because as we got into social media and Instagram and whatnot, which I love Instagram when this is Instagram. You know what I mean? When it's pictures, I'm all set with the memes and the you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So how you getting here? I mean, obviously, and by the way, my lady had bought a piece that I said, yo, I need that. And when she was shopping, she was like, she grabbed this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, we need that in the house too. So you over here keeping us colorful in the house.
So dope.
So
I always appreciate y'all's support, man, for sure.
Yes, sir. Can you talk about this one a little bit?
Yeah, man.
Do you name them? Do you name your pieces? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, always name them, man. It's for the most part, you know, that one right there is called Winter Change.
Mm-hmm.
I was just talking about this piece. But it's dealing with the growth, you know what I'm saying? Going through turmoil. That's why it's represented as a butterfly, because everybody could relate to the butterfly before it's a butterfly, you know. Cocooning and all of that. So you're going through the trials and tribulations, and it shows in the wings. So all those emotions, those experiences, those you have as you continue to fly is within you. It's still, it's what made you who you are. You know what I mean? So the reason I call it Winter Change is because of my brother Goldie Gold. He actually gave me that idea.
He's in the chat, by the way.
What's up?
He's in the chat, by the way.
Yeah. He gave me that idea to do. You know what I mean? Because I was wilding with a style like that. I had did a couple of pieces. One called Hearts of Men, and then I did another one that was called Keeping It Together Apart. And it was a conjunction of all those different faces and emotions that people go through that you don't see, but you see in their faces. You know what I'm saying? Or their expressions or what they say. So he was like, yo, you should do a piece like similar to that, call it Winter Change. Or maybe he might have came up with the name because he's dope with names. And I just
there's an art to that.
Right. And I just made it into what I felt it was. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. That's great. So this actually made it on to Destroy, Show Off Your Gems.
Oh, word.
I was on there like 2 weeks ago. I was running around with my phone. So this piece stays up on the wall. I pulled them all down for the show. But these stay up here keeping everything beautiful, you know?
Yeah, so you got that Goldie Gold Jacks shirt right there in the background.
Hey, listen, the quarantine hasn't been good to my physical. I was going to rock that tonight, but I put a couple LBs on, and it's a little young on me now, so we're just going to let them hang out right there.
Okay. You started spilling out the shirt. That's what happened.
Hey, that's what it is. I'm just going to have to get another one. One.
Big shout to Pepermint Gatty, man. She put that joint together. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
She's also in the chat.
Yeah. She put that joint together. That was a special exclusive joint for the 10-year Jacks.
Correct.
Born Day joint. So shout out to her, man.
I remember getting that in the mail, and I put it on. My girl came downstairs. I was like, yo, get down here, boom. I was like, take a picture of this. I was so happy to get it, you know? We'll get into that. So Mortal, it's going to go out a little out of order. I just want to show these pieces, and then we can get back. Because Flux, I want to talk about the community stuff. You know what I mean? Okay. But let's go over these pieces real quick. So this is my joint. This is the first one I seen that I was like, I need that. I want that in the house. Blow.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one of the favorites right there.
I absolutely adore this thing. I love it. I can't tell you why, but I can. I mean, obviously, everything needs water to grow. You know what I mean?
Of course,
and I've seen all that, and it looks so fly to me. More, there's a picture in there to show the chat of this.
Well, I think
one here.
We can see it right now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm cool. I'll post up.
We can come back to it. I mean,
I'll post up. I'm gonna get you a little zoomy. You know,
man.
I love this, and I got the big joint. You know what I mean? I got the
You know
what I mean? I wanted it in my life. So what can you explain it? You know, what we looking at?
Oh yeah, man. Water Boy. That's Water Boy right there. It's almost like a representation of myself. You know, at the same time, a lot of folks know me in the community for carrying around a jug of water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I first got into my health kick, one of the trainers was like, yo, you need to drink a lot of water. And he originally was like, yo, you need to drink like 2 gallons a day. I was like, I can't do that. But got up to a gallon and a little over a gallon. So I would always stay hydrated with it. But
and you was
in
always
terms
pissing.
of this piece, you know what I mean? Like it was everything needs water, right? Life needs water to flourish. So it was like the life of what's inside is they sense in the water that's on the outside. So it's forcing it to grow from its need. So that's what's coming out of me. The beauty, the ugliness, it all needs that life to grow. You know what I'm saying? That source to grow. You know what I mean? So that's why you have all those different types of plants, you know, animals and
which I didn't notice.
They come out various ways. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I didn't really notice it until I actually got it. And yeah, there's some toes or some fingers over there.
Yeah.
Get the little reptile going. Got the Honey I Shrunk the Kids. You know what I'm talking
about? The fly trap.
Fly trap. Yeah. So you call this the water boy?
Yeah, it's called water boy.
Because that's what I called it just by looking at it. Like I said, yo, you got to order me that water boy. But I'm glad you said it because like being the official title, you know what I mean? I don't want to slap a name on it that wasn't the truth. You know what I mean? Boom. All right. One more. I got a couple of small prints, but this was the second joint. And I'm yeah. And
in the wind.
In the wind. Now I'm a Libra, y'all. You know, air sign. And it just all this flyness, all this just spoke to me without even really honing in on what I was looking at. You understand? Like just the movement that's going on in there. I was like, that's dope. The colors. And then obviously once you wrote up a text about it, I got a little more I started seeing more of what you was really doing. But just from standing back, looking at it, I'm like, man, this stays on the fireplace.
Word.
You know? Yeah, this stays up there. So speak to this, and then I want to know how you got these on a pillowcase.
Oh, shoot, man. Yeah, that's easy. In the wind, it's just about freedom at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Rolling with the winds because they could go either way. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you gotta go. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta force the change. You know what I mean? And it's about being open as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like catching that wave and riding it. You know what I mean? Wherever it is at that space and time.
See where it takes you, you know, because you can't really fight the wind, or you can, but like I feel like see where it's going. Even the you know what I mean?
You try to fight the wind.
You could try.
You know, hurricanes tell you different things. They leave.
You guys are going east. That's where it's going. So, again, I like abstract stuff. Like, for instance, like I doodle around. I've been on Photoshop just playing with stuff. I can't do anything that looks like anything. I like, you know what I mean? But I like shapes and colors and all that stuff. So this immediately kind of just popped out,
Okay.
So that's the piece right here. And again, description, he was like, oh, that's the wind joint. I'm like, all right, Libra, let's get it, Let's get that up in here. So how does that end up on some tight pants and some pillowcases? How'd that happen?
I mean, this is an easy thing, man. They got a lot of companies out here that does multiple printing, you know what I mean? So they'll do pieces, they'll do home style pieces, they'll do direct garment imagery, whether it's right on a t-shirt or a pillow or some leggings or whatever. So, it's just about expanding your art in which way that you want to expand.
They make great pillows. So I think I was scrolling through one day and it looked like the Pottery Barn or some stuff. I'm like, wait, hold up. What is that in there? You know what I mean? Like, like you said, like all other ways to not only get your art out there, but you know, accrue some income. You know what I mean, and spread things around, not just in one way. You know.
Yeah. There's a lot of brothers and sisters is doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mortal, can you pull up those pictures for me real quick?
I think we got some of the Binkis crew waiting to get in.
All right, 9:40. All right, hold on, because I was texting Mr. Senor.
Oh yeah, I think Maf waiting.
Okay.
I think Lisa,
all right,
Pepermint up in there too somewhere.
Let's real quick before because once we start talking about music, forget about it. All right, forget about it. So what a absolutely fantastic. That is just so ill.
Appreciate
and who it is.
Yeah.
Who, you know, this collaboration. If those that are watching don't know, these are Serato Tone Records, and on one side, God bless Malik. You know, got his joints on the end, but they're also Tone Records. But that is like the flyest shit you've ever done, in my opinion. Like I just think it's incredible. The colors, who it is. That's absolutely. I haven't opened it, and I probably won't open it. You know what I mean?
Word.
Like, yeah, it's going to just stay like this. You know. So, can you explain how you got this opportunity, and then how you approach this? Like, how'd you start, like, doing that? Because it's not that picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that came through my brother Rasta Root. You know what I mean? And Rasta Root, he managed this fight. So.
Yes, sir.
When around that time, you know, I worked with Roots a lot. You know what I'm saying? I created logos for his companies, done flyers for the Face Off when they first started, Face Off Fridays. So, and I've done stuff for Fife Malik in his own personal business, like some of the stuff he do for the sports, his logo, all these different things. So.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, between them two, I did a logo for their company. It's called Rhythm Kids. So that was like when I first started working with them. You know what I mean? And from there, they was just always like, "Yo, we want you to do this. We want you to do that. We want you to do this." So when this collab came around with Smoking Needles and Serato, Roots was like, "Yo, I want you to do that nutshell cover. Design and do the illustration, whoop, whoop." I was like, "That's what's up." So they already knew what they wanted to do for the cover.
Yep.
And, you know, I mean, he just asked me to design and illustrate it. So I laid out the design work for the front. And then, you know, you given some images to choose from. And the image I chose to illustrate was the one I was like, "Yo, that's some Fife shit right there." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
In the picture, he was doing something else. He had these cupcakes and he was like doing like that. And I was like, yeah, that's the energy that I want people to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he shouldn't have been eating cupcakes, as we know. Like they would.
Yeah, right.
Right. So, he shouldn't have been doing that, you know. Yeah.
Right. So, you know what I mean? I wanted to capture that fun energy. And, you know, that was also me developing my style where I started using a lot of wavy patterns and stuff in it. So I wanted to incorporate that. And, you know, I made it the red, black, and green because for those who don't know, that's Tribe Quest color. So you always remember that. He always a Nick fan, you know what I mean? So I put them colors in effect. Exactly.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, that's how I did it, man. That's how I came up with it. And it's just like, you know, when you see an image, well, when I see an image, it's how I want to extend the image. Because you could do a portrait, you can make it look just like the portrait, but I didn't want to make it just like the portrait. I wanted to add the spiritual aspect of the person to it. You know what I
get
mean?
it.
So that's how I extend upon just the portrait.
This is amazing. I'm
So dope.
saying to your face, it's so dope. Like I need this in like wallpaper form or something. You know what I mean? I need a bigger version of this. You know, but it's I appreciate it what it was. You know what? To be honest with you, I was buying this anyway. I didn't really realize I didn't order this knowing that.
Right.
I mean, I put it together real quick, but I didn't be like, yo, I'm gonna get Flux's new record. I was buying this anyway.
Right.
You know, just off principle. But amazing work, man. It's beautiful, man. It's absolutely beautiful. Right? So once I got some text messages. We got to work on getting Kaos in here.
I mean,
and
if you want, I'll bring him in right now.
Who's in the cut? All three of them?
Let me check. I have 3 people waiting.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Let's go. All right, folks. So that was in a nutshell. I just wanted to know a little bit more about my man. Yo, you see what I did there? You see what I did there? That's my man's Flux. And now we're gonna get nutty right now. We're gonna start talking about this music.
We got Kaos over there. Who on the next screen there over there? We got some people. We got okay. There go Mom right there. What that was?
Hold up, yo.
What up, son? I'm high on the technology plane. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Real quick.
You guys look beautiful. What's up?
Yeah.
We out here.
We can get the boat cats going.
Fist.
All right. Who's in charge right now? Who's gonna take charge now?
Hey, it's your show, homie. It's your show.
I got you. Hey, did you guys know this is the most interesting MC right here? The most interesting. I was just listening to that.
I'm good enough for 2 songs. That's it.
What was it? Checkmate? The mixtape. So another Kaos. Check it out. Your the Kaos Effect came out right around when I started buying digital, but I didn't remember that. So I got everybody. You know, like I got everybody's shit. And I'm like, where's my Kaos CD? Where's my like I'm going through, I'm ripping the shit apart, you know? And it dawned on me that like I bought it off iTunes. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, man. Hey, and the other thing too is what's the joint on there? Do You Miss Me?
Yeah.
Who made that beat?
Illustrate, right? Yeah.
Who?
Illustrate.
Woo! That's why I like the physical, because I'm like, what man, what woman, who did this? Who did this to us? You know? All right. So did we lose Pepermint Gatty?
Perhaps she turned off her camera. I'm not sure.
I haven't heard her yet. 1 2 1 2. You got your mic on?
Oh, hold on. I think
where you at?
Let me get her back in. I think she fell out.
Oh, it's all good.
There we go.
You back?
Oh, Scott.
All right.
How you doing? Oh, I see what's going on. Hey, I see what's going on.
Young Kaos.
He said he can't fit his shirt no more, man.
Hey, the quarantine, I kind of outgrew. You know, I need a bump up in size.
Flatten the curve. We got to flatten the curve, yo.
I'm eating. I wouldn't say I'm eating good, you know. That's what it is. All right. I'm so happy to get y'all together and have this moment. I like knowing. Hey, and that's really why we could do this, you know. So can we just real quick, Mr. Mortal loves his origin story.
Yes.
How did let's take it back to the essence of how that group got formed. I already know, but I want to hear it again. You know, like how did all this kick off, man? What's the genesis, and when did it actually become get called Binkis? You know,
that's Flux right there. That's Flux right there. That's Flux right there. And really, what you have to ask is, how did y'all even get to the origins of the name? Because the name came before the group, right?
Yeah. Exactly. So let's talk about the origin. Let's talk about the origin of the name. The origin of the name Binkis, right? Came through jokes as always. So man Spice was saying Boomkas, right? It was something out of Brooklyn that his crew was saying Boomkas.
Okay.
Attached ourselves to Boomkas, right? And then I remember we was on a strip down in Clark, Atlanta. We was probably right in front of Steagles. And we was laughing at something, me, Jax, and Spice. And Jack said, Boomkas. He was dying laughing. And he was like, Boomkas. He's like, man, fuck that. Binkis. Yo, I'm gonna make up my own. Binkis. So then that's when it switched from Boomkas to Binkis. That's when the name was born. And then it just became an everyday thing in the crew. You know what I'm saying? When it became a record label, Jax went back to New York and had the epiphany to start a record label. So when he came back, this was like around 97, he was like, yo, I want to start a record label. I was like, okay, I'm down with it, because we had a t-shirt company. And then he was like, yo, I want to call it Binkis Records. I was like, that's what's up. You know what I mean? And from then, that's when we just started, and he told me what the idea for the logo was. And then I just told y'all how the logo started. Well, I ain't tell y'all that, but that's where I started to style my logos out a little better. And we took it from there. It was good to include everybody as we were. You know what I mean? And then we was part of the All States crew. We had the All States crew, became Binkis Records crew. And as cats started going off and doing their thing, the last folks that was left was me, Jax, and Killer Khan.
Yes, sir.
It went from Binkis Records to Binkis RECS. RECS being short for records. You know what I mean? And then that's when it became the group Binkis RECS. You know what I'm saying?
As we're getting here.
Right. Well, that's past that. That's past that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That was 2000, around 2001, 2002, around 2003. And then Mob got on board because we was recording at Mob crib. At the time, Jax recorded some singles at Mob crib before.
At my mom's crib.
Right, at his mom's crib. So that was the recording connection. And Mob was with Bamboo. They had a crew called Murder One. So Mob DJ for them. We was at a show in MJQ, and we ain't have no DJs. This was after DJ Drama wasn't DJing for us anymore. And we would go through back and forth to DJ. So we was like, we seen Mob one time, and we was like, yo, could you spin for us right now? Because we ain't got no DJ.
Right.
And he did that shit so perfectly.
Thick acetate dub plates, bro.
Yeah, we was using
heavy dub plates, yeah.
And he did that shit so smooth. When we was riding home, he was like, yo, Mob killed that shit, right? Like, he was on point. He didn't even know the songs like that. And he just did it naturally. So after that, he was like, yo, let's ask him if you want to be our DJ. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when that came into play.
What's on the acetate at the time? What was that? Some instrumentals you had pressed up? What's on
Beat You in the Head, probably.
Yeah, Beat You in the Head was on acetate, and we used to do our version of Roxanne. So we had that instrumental too. We used to rock off that instrumental.
I ain't got that.
I thought
I had everything. I ain't got that.
Two more songs on there. One from Spice, the Old Souls crew, Spice, Mike Moore, and DJ Drama. I think they had a joint on the acetate, maybe something else. Yeah.
Moth, you still got the acetates?
Nah, well, it's probably at my crib now, but nah, they still have it. But I have all their crates at the crib right now.
I know that's a limited. You only can play him so many times or whatnot.
Yeah, it sounds like you've been scratching the same area.
Done. That shit started sounding dirty probably after the third time.
Yo, but if there was ever a problem, no gat, no none, you just slap somebody with that dub plate and it's a wrap. So.
Right, it's a wrap.
Bam. For real,
I feel that.
For real vocab right there.
So yeah, that's how we the group got from
to where it was at. And I'm gonna pick it up right there. I'm gonna take it to the year 2000. My brother and I moved to West 63rd, Manhattan, right? And I brought my tape deck and a pillow and a change of socks, right? But I brought my tape deck and a brick of tapes.
New drawers. You brought a
nah, they good. Just you gotta take care of your feet, Forrest Gump. You gotta take care of your feet.
Come on,
like feet. That's my business. Yeah, you gotta take care of your feet. So I actually didn't break those out. So now I'm in New York, right? Boom. What do you call it? Stretch and Armstrong. The Stretch and Barbito show is now the CM Familam radio program, right? And now I'm there. I'm living in the city. I'm right down the street. I got the coat hanger out. I'm getting it ready. And I'm just looking forward to these Thursday nights. I'm trying to get a job. I'm knocking on every recording studio in New York City. I'm opening up CDs, being like, okay, down there, okay, boom. But looking forward to Thursday and taping the show. And the first show, Bob wasn't there. I'm like, ain't this some bullshit? You know, you like he had to fill in. It was a good show, but Bob wasn't there. I was like, this is some bullshit. I moved all the way over here to make my own dub. Bob ain't here. That's some bullshit. But anyways, just to wrap it up, when Bob got back, he did the demo battle. Or he used to play the demo such and such. And that's where I heard Beat You in the Head.
Right.
Oh, wow.
I still have it to this day on tape when he played it live. He bigged y'all up before he played it and after he played it. And so that was my introduction. And you guys can, just as much as I do, that show was groundbreaking. Like you would learn, about like who the hell was that? And you go look for them, and Binkis stuck out in my head. And C Ray's Walls. Those were the two names I learned being there. I was like, yo, I'm gonna get in contact with Binkis and C Ray's. Because at the time I'm making music, I'm just dabbling in beats and nothing. I still hadn't put an album together with my people, Peace to Kazuno and everybody. I ended up moving back from New York and really had the battery and made an album. I'm like, I'm making an album, after 3 months in New York. But the point of all that was that's when I first heard Binkis. A couple years go by, we put out a record, and then we're doing shows. You know what it is. You're doing shows, you're meeting people, you're passing your demo around, all this stuff. And one thing that you're pressing up T-shirts, and that's why the skit on here, when y'all are at the bus stop and you're talking about CDs, tapes, talking about the logo, that skit was probably the dopest part of the album for me. It's not, but to me it hit. You know what I mean? Because you got Rain Begins, Bullet, You Don't Do It. There's all kind of shit on there. Hey, peace to Killer Calm too. I'm sad he couldn't make it here because that dude is if you don't see it, he's y'all David Ortiz. You guys load the bases up and Killer comes in.
No doubt.
It just sends it. That's
he the master, man. He the master.
That's it. Nah, he absolutely incredible. Big up to him. So I'm building it. I'm building it towards why we can talk today. So I hear that skit, and I'm on a website. I'm on the Stone's Throw website, and people used to post up remixes, and somebody posted up one of y'all songs. It was I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't good. It wasn't good. And I was like,
the remix wasn't
the
good.
remix was whack.
Yeah, the remix was not good.
Right. To be clear. Yeah. So I reached out to my guy, not being rude. It just, the beat was miserable. The vocals were off beat, everything. I was like, how did you get that a cappella? Because, this didn't come with one. Just real slick. I'm like, where'd you get that vocal? And he was like, oh, I just called Jax and got the vocal. And I was like, fuck that, I'm calling Jax and getting the vocals, Boom.
Right.
It's not the whole album, but there's a lot of shit on here.
Yeah.
And that's great. And that's crazy because I always wondered how y'all linked up in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, for real, between Jax and Flux, like they would just be making connections and coming back home with the shit like, yo, word.
I'm gonna be
honest.
Like,
yo,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Like label heads, like all kind of cats.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Jax was the network, man. That's why it's Jax Corp. You know what I'm saying? He was the network on that. So he was in the business. I stayed in the realm of the design. I handled all the artwork and all those things. But he made those connections. So I remember when he was like, yo, so we gonna put out the acapellas, and yo, we gonna put them out there and see what come. We gonna get some new producers.
We're gonna go fishing. See what we get.
What happened? You know what I'm saying? And that's how we ran into you and made that dang phenomenal remake of Jax the Ripper.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Ooh, good? Who's that?
Same thing with Static. Same thing with Static.
We met Static and them through a show in South Carolina. We did a show with him. The cat that used to manage him and what's homeboy name, man? I forget his name right now, man. But Poison Pen. Poison Pen. So it was Static, Poison Pen, and dang, what's the other brother name? I forget right now. And we met them out there, and that's how we connected with Static. You know what I mean?
So that's this album's already out. So let me back up. I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm excited. So it needs to be pointed out that this is the Fondulum Fossils. This is the Farewell Fondulum, as you know, put out by Def Jux, and Beat You in the Head is on here.
Right.
Even though it never came out on Fondulum. Right? But Bobbito believed in y'all so much, it got on there.
Exactly.
So, bro, and to talk about it, like, talk about the most roughest, dirtiest analog 4-track song that could have been made. Like, as an engineer, I always wanted to do it again. But I mean, I appreciate now, later, like the magic in the dust, you know what I'm saying? The magic that was made. Like, don't change it.
Don't clean it. You know yes.
But sometimes got a lot of love off that joint.
Man.
When you start cleaning, sometimes you wipe the mud off the face and it's like, I don't recognize you no more. You know what I mean? it has that effect. Because I cleaned up Trouble Calm joint that we never had a chance to put out. But I remember I sent you a grimy version, and then when I cleaned it up, it kind of lost itself a little bit. I was like, let me go. Let me bring it back.
The joint is still banging. I still like that joint. Yeah.
All right, so we still want to. I mean, I have a few heat rocks that need to get out. So I just want to point this out. This cannot be understated. Okay, we all know who Bobbito is. We love him. We respect him. He is our generation's like Renaissance man. Who don't love Bob? You know. So Fondulum Records ends, and he starts Fruit Me.
Yeah.
What's the first record he's gonna put out on his brand new label? I'm just saying that. Come on,
Monster. Man. The 18-wheeler track.
Yeah.
That can't be understated. You got Bullet on there, and was it Marquee on the flip side?
Nah, Marquee was on the next.
I Am. Yep. With AOS on there.
That was a blessing.
Word to AOS.
Mm-hmm.
So he really believed in us from the Beat You in the Head because you know we killed that demo battle. Like that joint rocked. They retired it because it kept winning.
Enough. Get these dudes.
Right, and off of that, you know, he flew us to participate in the Rocksteady Crew reunion anniversary.
I wish I could have been there. Yeah.
It was just like that. He believed in us so much from our energy. We went up there. I remember going up there and being at the show, and we spitting on the radio, and it's like, yo, this is what Cash dreamed about doing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And he always pushed us. He's like, he always felt that we should be a part. So Jax always kept that connection going.
I felt that it translated, you know, because Bob likes energy. He likes light. You know what I mean? He don't like negativity. You know, it's a lot of things I want to touch on, but I just wanted. I feel like that can't be understated how much Bob believed in y'all to start that, and then y'all had the third release too, because he put out.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, it wants to come out the packaging for some reason. Mop, where'd you go? We lost Mop.
Oh shit.
He's good. He'll be back. That's all right. The needle skip. It's Zoom. That's what happens.
That's Zoom.
That's what happens. All right. So, yeah, I definitely wanted to cover finding you in New York, hearing this album, getting to this point, so I get the man on the phone. And I shared a little bit of this with you, Lisa, earlier. I remember when Jax called me. So I remixed. I'm back. You good? You back?
Yeah. Remix Bullet.
All right. So, but no, that was after. So I remixed Introducing.
Right.
I Am and Too Much. So I did those 3 and sent them off. Now I knew Introducing was on fire. Like that. I was like, there's no way they're not gonna like this. It's too much. So still knowing that, it still bugged me out when the phone rang. You know, I just wasn't ready for it. And I remember him being like, "Yo, what's up, G? This Cabron?" I was like, "Yeah, who's this?" I knew who it was. And so he's talking, and I remember asking him after about 2 minutes, "Yo, my G, can I hit you back?" He's like, "Yo, oh yeah, no doubt." I was like, "I can't process this right now." You know what I mean? Because I dreamt it, but when it popped off, I wasn't ready. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, "Let me call you right back." And then from there, you know, hours and hours on the phone. Like you said, he was a networker. You know what I mean? And I remember being on the phone with him for like 3-4 hours. I'm like, "My guy, you got something else to do. Like, I don't want to tie you up. You know what I'm saying? You got business?" He's like, "This is business." You know what I mean? Like, this is what I want to do. And we would just talk about, you know, music and across the board. I appreciate those laughs, you know. So
that was his connection with Kaos like that, man. Kaos was the same mission like that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Appreciated the networking and the push. You want to speak to that, Kaos? Can you share a little bit on the beginnings of that relationship? You know what I mean? Or just, you know, what made it special to you?
I mean, for me, you know, I was just a young guy, you know, watching these dudes do what I wanted to do, which was, you know, making music, doing shows, not compromising on who they were as people, or compromising the music. So, you know, just kind of became, you know, air-likes, you know, connecting in the same environment. And, you know, like Flux just mentioned, you know, it's when you're independent, you know, you got to do everything for yourself. And, you know, Binkis had mastered, you know, Flux was doing, you know, graphic design, T-shirts, you know, pressing and distributing their own projects, recording their own projects like they were a self-contained unit who was doing everything for self, and mastering it, and, you know, not looking for handouts and not going out and asking for anybody for anything. And I think that was the thing that, you know, I saw first the most, and was like, all right, I got to figure out how to do that in order to truly win at what I want to do in making music. So, you know, they were the blueprint in a lot of ways for somebody coming up in the city to be able to see, you know, what that independent grind.
I feel like it translated, like your albums, they are, you're definitely your own dude and everything, but I can tell it's planted in the same type of soil, if that makes any sense. I feel like your music, you know, just the way you the types of songs you make, how they sound, the beats you pick, everything. It's the stuff I like. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I appreciate it. I hear it. You know, I remember getting I'm trying to think of the first one off of the album that which Flux you also did the Chaos Effect artwork, right, for the album cover.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, man, I did about 2 different. One version, he ain't like.
So that's the one I ain't see, right? Yep.
Then I had to redo it. I was like, this motherfucker gonna like this one.
Right. So Chaos, when that album turns 20 though, can you just use the OG as a throwback? Special anniversary.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
All right.
It was a pleasure to do that joint, man. Because it was like, just to see my man's growth, you know what I mean, and dedication, especially at that time. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was, after Jack's passed, and I just had the equipment, and I knew he was coming over. He's trying to get his mixtapes and stuff done. We're recording verses for cats. He was getting his feature work on heavy. He was just coming through. Yo, let me record this joint. I was like, all right, let's do it. Yo, let me record this joint. Yo, you can help me lay this out? I was like, yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean? And then even going on the road with him as a hype man. You know what I'm saying? That shit was dope to see. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I just love to see him come of age and do what he's doing. It's amazing shit he's doing. It was just, it's beautiful, man. Still to this day. I mean,
and let it be known, like that grind has been Chaos's grind since he was like what, 14?
Yeah.
Because when we first met, I think we first met when he was 14 or 15, and his grind was just as hard as it is now. You know what I'm saying? So nothing changed there.
Driven.
Yeah. It touched everywhere, man. Like I'm looking at Lisa, the shit she falling into. You know what I mean? And
I saw that.
This shit is beautiful, man. I love it. I love to see that. You know what I mean?
I had the same feeling when I saw you. I saw you starting to talk about wanting to DJ and getting into it and everything. Full support from me. I was like, let's get it.
Thank you.
Can you talk about that a little bit? Like what that experience has been like?
Sure. So what? It's been going on 3 years now.
Okay.
So I have a crew. We call Wax Fundamentals. We're strictly vinyl only DJs.
Okay.
Our home base is JB's Record Lounge in historic West End, Atlanta. The experience has been like crazy, fantastic. I mean, I got Maf. He's one of my mentors.
Did you battle him? Did you battle Maf to get your to see if you had the chops?
Nah, I ain't ready for that. Nah, but shit. That was just to have the 1/4 of what Maf has, man. I'll be fucking incredible.
I hear that.
But experience been great. When you and I was talking earlier and everything, and I thought about like where I am now. I mean, I did a freaking show with Tony Touch.
Yeah,
and
you did.
Yes, Tony Touch.
So you did that right on the resume.
I did that.
Yep.
I did that. Tony Touch.
I was always rooting for you.
Yeah, and so but it's been
Tony Hernandez.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Tony Hernandez.
So how did that go? Was he around you? Did he make you nervous, or were you just rocking? I'm gonna go.
So actually, I don't think he was there, but I think what was dope about that is after I was done, because I was the first DJ.
Yep.
I remember getting off stage and Diamond D was there. And just being, I mean, I was on this like this fucking cloud.
Where am I?
I was like, yo, Diamond D, you catch my set? He was like, yeah, shorty. He was like, yo, you was dope. I was like,
that's enough.
Diamond D, yeah.
Right.
It was dope.
Get the little, to get the salute from the legend. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So as far as the way you DJ, I like to call myself more of a selector,
Yes.
Like I'm not super technical. I'm not nobody's Q-Bird, DJ Scratch, but I know what I like. And I know what sounds fresh. Do you feel the same? Like, is that your approach?
Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, of course, I would love to have chops like Maf and JC and scratch bastard. But to me, like,
Ooh, that's a high level to get to.
yeah, it's very high level to get to. But like Rich Medina is like one of my favorite DJs.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
And I don't recall seeing him, you know, scratching it up and doing flips and shit like that. But his music, it's incredible.
The things you pick,
and so, the things. So
he's on Twitch, right?
Deep grades.
He's on Twitch. Rich, he's on Twitch, right?
Yes, he is.
I watched him. I watched him on Twitch. His set was fire. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, the stuff he picks, he's got deep crates, man. To watch these, they'll pull out like Japanese versions of James Brown. You know what I mean? Like just wild stuff. You know, songs we know, but like you ain't never heard this. You know?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Rare shit.
Yeah.
Super rare. Like to make you mad. Like where'd you get that rare? You know what I mean? Like.
I mean, people who know me, they know I'm a humongous Hall & Oates fan. And Rich was here one day. He did something called I forgot what it was called. It was like a barbecue something at Noni's. And he played a country and western version of I Can't Go For That by Hall & Oates. It was like banjos and flutes and clarinets. And I was like, I know this song, and there's a video of me screaming. Like,
the light bulb go off.
I'm like, who is this? And he was like, yo, it's shit, I can't think of the people now. Oh, Nashville Rhythm Section. That's exactly what it is. And can't find the 45. Of course you can't, but yeah.
Was he playing it on 45?
Yes, he was.
So what you do is you wait till he takes a bathroom break. You just go over there and help yourself a little bit. It's borrowing, you know. That's fantastic.
It's just a sample.
Yeah, I'm just sampling this. Yeah, so I got to get him on Twitch because I know Questlove's on there, Spinner's on there, and I'm wondering how they're playing copyrighted music for hours on end without getting shut off. I don't know if they got the blessing, they pay for it, or because we've been scared to play music, you know, because we don't want to get shut down. But anyways, that's a problem. That's a future problem. You know what I mean? Because we were sitting there in the beginning, like we should be playing this.
Yeah, I want to play joints.
I want to play this. Yeah.
So the only people that can sue you is us. So go ahead,
right? Well, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
Is that how that works? Is that how that works?
Ain't no major affiliation on those songs, brother.
Right.
Why can't we play it? We said it to Wordsworth last week. Like, why can't we just play your stuff? So, all right. Let me check my notes because I get lost.
My man Larry King over here.
That's it. That's it.
I have a.
Let me bring it back, Jerry. Hold on.
Phil Donahue over here.
So,
right.
You're like, you quit. They didn't cancel you, right? Remember that Jerry Seinfeld? He got mad. All right. So just to wheel it back a little bit, you get the super blessing, and then you end up on Day by Day, which is MF Grimm's label. And is it safe to assume like that was probably a lot of Jacks talking to Grimm, or do you have any memories of talking to Grimm?
Came through John Doe and Prophetics, man. Eddie Meeks.
John Doe.
You know what I'm saying? Because John Doe Prophetics, they did an album on Day by Day.
Yeah.
And I think John Doe, he had an album on there like right before Prophetics album came out. We did a joint on there as well called Anonymous. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that connection came through.
And cats were upset about that. There was a certain sector of cats that were upset about that because there was these other cats that was actively trying to get us. And they A3C, something about A3C, but those guys, the original Foundation crew, those guys, they really wanted to sign us to their own label, and we kind of, Jax decided to do his own thing,
Yeah. Hey, you're in good hands.
Which is a blessing. Yeah, it's a blessing.
Yeah. That sounds right. Because I remember the John Doe. I believe that song's on here. He remixed something, or he produced.
He mixed that joint. We wanted to put that out with the album so that cats could, you know what I mean, scoop it up, have that exclusive with it. Bedroom Empire. See,
I'm pretty sure
written right there. So you got a class.
Yes, sir. I don't like no bootleg stuff over here.
That was when we was burning CDs and couldn't put no pictures on it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying.
Well, yeah. We was writing that shit like.
I'm super careful because I know what that is. I know that came off the printer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it says
me trying to make sure it's in the right space.
Lined up right.
That was so terrible.
Oh,
that was terrible. The CD Tower days. Oh boy. Oh
man.
Yeah.
Yo,
I'm trying to think.
We was getting it in.
All these. Yeah, I'm very careful with these, yo, because these are all straight off the printer.
Sharp images, yeah.
Yeah, he picking his nose? What are you doing?
Nah, man, he brushing his teeth, man. He brushing
yeah. It's a secondary shot of the joint.
Those pictures were taken by Cognito, too.
Okay, peace to him.
Mass influence.
Oh, man. And this, my favorite on here, Dark Ages.
Oh,
that's my joint. The UPS joint is fantastic, which I first heard on here. Yeah. And at the time when I had that, I worked at the post office. So
at the time that he put that out, he was working at UPS.
That's what I'm saying. There was certain there was certain lineages, you know.
It was real. It was real.
Yeah.
It's interesting, man. Like that joint, when I UPS, I used to get mad play like J-Force, Boom Bip, all the cats used to play that joint. But there was this cat, I don't know who it was, man, but he called me one day, I guess, trying to get at Jax or whatever.
Yep.
And he was like, I don't know who it was. It was some rapper though. And he's like, yo, what's up with that song UPS? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because I would entertain prank callers at times, right? But he's like, yeah, yo, you think that shit is real scientific? I was like, yes. I was like, what are you talking about? Oh,
underpaid slavery.
I think y'all such and such. I was like, nigga, you mad, man. Get off my phone. I was like, yo, you called me up talking about you ain't scientific because you put a song out called UPS.
Right.
I was like, he's tripping, G.
I want to speak to that too because a lot of the skits and so Maf, how much of this stuff are you recording? Like, are you the principal engineer for a lot of this stuff?
See, I ended right where, so all these projects was kind of floating all at the same time. And Jax was organizing it in a way where each project had its home, you know what I'm saying? So that he wouldn't, I guess, it was easier to manage the files back then like that. Yeah. So all these other things was already happening. Like he was working with Billy Babkate at his joint, he was working with Pocket, he was working with so many different cats already. You know what I'm saying? Collectively, everybody was.
Yeah. Mob came in On the Rain Begins heavy. That's where we recorded the whole thing in Mob.
Yeah.
You recorded that album at the crib?
At the crib. At the crib that I live at today. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm coming over. I'm gonna sign the wall.
And interestingly enough, like, you know what I'm saying, just like my favorite parts of my history is this, because of the association with Jax and Rasta Root and Fight Dog, I was able to record Fight Dog at my crib as well.
That's beautiful.
That was like mind blowing. I wasn't even. I felt like I wasn't even there. I felt like I was looking at it from the outside in. But it was a beautiful moment.
And I think through the years, we done recorded in almost every part of my house.
Like, yo, for real.
Just moving the mic around.
Man,
the whole studio would move around, man. It would just fluctuate.
One room, then we
would knock down a wall, go through.
Then we was in the living room. Then we was in the back room. It was just like, it was dope though, man.
Depending where the AC was at.
No, man, for real. Like to this day, like there's a part of my living room that's sunken in a little bit, And it was from these guys, man, just practicing at the crib, like for shows and getting so amped at the show, man. It really made the floors a little weaker, man. But, you know,
that's amazing.
It's another selling point when I get to sell the house.
Right. You sound to me.
Binkis, the 3 bears, yo.
My point of the recording part is I love unpolished demo. And this is polished. I'm not saying it's not polished. What I'm saying is you guys, whether it's, I'm asking you if you do it on purpose, you leave shit in there that normal people would cut out.
I think that was, I wouldn't say I encourage that on Rain Begins. But I mean, they was already doing that because like a song would end and there would be so much chatter at the end of their 4-track recordings. You know what I'm saying? Whereas
that shit is gold.
And that's the thing, like, you know, when I stepped in, it was almost like they stepped out. I was able to take over the technical part where they could run free, right? So like at any given time, they wouldn't even know if I was recording or not. And a lot of times I was recording for hours and they didn't even know, like, yo, you got that for real? Like, oh shit, the shit from last week, this, that, or next.
Right.
I got it right here. And so, you know what I'm saying? That just added to the pot of creativity to just be able to pull shit out of, you know what I'm saying? But like the skits, especially like that bus skit, like it sounds like for me, when I listen to it, it gives me goosebumps because it sounds like they really at the bus stop. And I had just got up on all these like sound effects CDs because I used to work at a certain broadcasting company and I jerked them for all their sound CDs, sound effect CDs.
Sampling them?
All of them. I mean, I just took it from their library and took it home for us to use. Because I was like, I just really knew like it would be instrumental for these guys because like it was gonna, I knew that they needed a lot more, you know, background sound effects type of vibe. So that track, that one in particular, that interlude, it sounds like it's for real and they just sitting in the crib. We just added all those elements in and they were just authentic into the product. You know what I'm saying? They were authentic into what they wanted to get out. And that's what they put in.
And
in my mind.
To add on to that, like at the same time, we recording live. So whatever's happening is what we putting into it. You know what I mean? Like even with the old, I want to say was that after that's what I'm talking about where we was playing with the that little letter.
The Simon Says joint.
My baby goddaughter left that at the crib or some shit like that.
Right.
And it was just there, like, yo, let's use
That's another picture.
The whole time we was recording. And we was just like, yo, let's just throw that up in there. And we laughing in the background. I mean,
it is on the end of that.
We just have fun. We just like to have fun, man, when we doing whatever it is we're doing. And that's what make it Binkis. You know what I'm saying? Like the original name for Rain Begins was supposed to be called the Binkis Fam album. That was the original name of it. Because we was just going to bring everybody in. You know what I'm saying? So it was just that type of vibe. You know what I mean?
That I'm a super De La Soul fan, Prince Paul, all the skits. And I just feel like you get to know it's one thing if you write a skit out, but like when you capture that energy of just bullshit and like a little joke after, but the thing's still on, that stuff is gold. And I've always wanted, you know, that's, again, I already said it, like that, I pictured that skit, like I can see it in my head, the bus stop, it's nighttime, the light in their hands, whoa, you know, and then talk about the t-shirts, the tapes, and drawing the logo. I'm telling you, that's like my favorite shit on there. And it's heat. There's heat on there, you know?
And it was a very real moment because the cats were catching the 39 motor bus up Buford Highway to come to the crib to come to record. So like these are non-driving Binkis guys. Like I didn't see them guys with cars until Flux got a car. And before Flux got a car, man, they was grinding on that bus line and on that train line. Heavy.
The other thing too is the intro.
Thank God they went into graph, man, because if they went to graph, man, they tags would be all over Martibus.
Right.
Scratched
mobile. On foot. The intro. Who recorded that? those beautiful women on the beginning of this.
Slick and Rose, Slick and Rose.
Yeah, Slick and Rose.
Big up to them, big up to New Edition, no doubt.
Yeah,
yo, big up to Bobby, Ronnie, Ricky, and Mike. All them. Right, what a great intro. Fantastic. Hey, so did that pose any copyright fair usage? Was that,
I don't know, man, but if you talk about it right now, man, just
you're under the radar.
All right.
Been under the radar.
All right.
We wrote our own songs, so I don't know.
It's an interpolation. It's an interpolation. That's
right.
All.
That's the word.
We wrote our own song, man.
That's cool, man. It's good. You guys are good. All right, so I want to semi-selfishly just back up 1 second to the remixes I sent y'all. And then, so after building with Jax on the phone, one day I was just playing around, and I'm doing the whole album. I'm gonna remix every acapella he sent me. I'm putting it all back together. In my mind, you're gonna remix the cover for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna flip that, you know what I mean? I have grand plans, you know? And I remember you guys had a show that week too. I said, how do you remix Bullet? That beat is insane. You know, like, how do you remix like possibly the best song on the record? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'm sitting there, I'm looking at my Biz Markie CD. I'm like, just something for the radio. And I was like, you know what, that's gonna work. So I pieced that together. Yeah. And I remember going, hey, I'm gonna send something. I don't know, you know, I know it wasn't whack, but I was like, I don't know if you want to fuck with this. I did this for fun. I sent it. And I feel like you had a show that week. You have to tell me if it got played or if you ever
probably did. We probably did.
Yeah.
We probably just went ahead and put it in there.
Yeah.
We was hyped. When we heard that, we was like, yo, he flipped.
And that shit worked.
That's probably one of my favorite Biz Markie songs, period. You know what I'm saying?
Period. Like, I stay bizzed out over here. We do too much biz over here. You know what I mean? So listen, that's crazy. And then so while I'm like, I gotta send beats down there. I gotta get these dudes beats. And I found Ashley's Roach clip, which is the Jax the Ripper, or Jack the Ripper, you know? And I'm like, I remember going, hey man, what you think about this? And my memory was like, he was like, nah, you know, we did Bullet for the Radio, which that's why I named it, Bullet for the Radio. And we didn't want to go down this road of flipping really known shit.
Right, exactly.
So it was, and I completely understood that. I was like, okay, if I keep, and I feel like he had mentioned the Trouble Man shit too. So yeah. We were already kind of like developing, you know, this thing where it was like, I'm always just remixing known shit, which is fine, but it's like, you know, who am I, you know?
Right.
And so we left it alone. He was like, nah, I'm good. And a short time later, I can't remember if it was months or whatever happened, but I do remember the call, like, I need that Jax the Ripper beat. And I was like, word, let's go.
He was hype. He was hype. Mm-hmm. He was hype on that joint.
Incredible, mate. G.
I know what we talked about on the phone, and I'm selfishly just asking you to give me the story from your angle, like any memories of him writing, rehearsing, recording, any memories. I would be much appreciated.
Well, I'm gonna let y'all go because I'm running out of light out here and batteries. But I will say this: like, if you think about the shows were really constructed just like the album. Because like during our shows, we would have an intro. We would have like maybe something that we would flip.
Right.
We would have an interlude in between. We'd get into the meat of the show, and we'll even do an outro. You know what I'm saying? So it's very poignant to you know, we have to point that out that you know, even the shows were as structured as that. But I mean, as far as those two joints, man, like as far as the DJ, dog, I would be like, let's put that in every show. Like, yo, let's do this every show.
The tempo's
like,
up.
Chill. We already did that. Let's flip this. Because I knew like at every show it was gonna make the crowd go bazonkers, and it always made the crowd go bazonkers. Especially like the part where it's like it starts with Bullet with the original, and then I don't know if you remixed it that way or if I just did it.
Nah, you put it together like that, man.
So like I would do the original and then flip your version like in the middle, like when it was least expecting it, and it'd be like just bang them out. I mean, it'd be like we would really be busting them in the head like that. But yo, peace, y'all. I love y'all. Thank you, Jabron, for everything, man.
Love you,
we're gonna continue building, and yo, Binkis for life, bro.
I'm calling you back.
Love you,
Mafi.
All right, now.
Ooh,
yeah, man. I mean, just like Mom said, it was one of those things that we knew, but he knew that was gonna fuck cats up. You know what I'm saying? And so because there was no instrumental for that joint. You know what I'm saying? So from what you did, like for y'all who don't know, he reconstructs these beats. So it's almost like how, online when you see Marley Marl and them showing y'all how they made the track, like he would reconstruct that joint just from the listening aspect. Yep. You know what I mean? So when Jax got that joint, he's like, yo, I'm gonna get him to do the Jax the Ripper over. And that shit sounded just like the goddamn original. That shit was like, yo, this shit is crazy. You know what I mean? So, I remember him practicing it, you know what I mean, before he laid it at my crib and making sure he had like the tone, you know what I mean, that resembled it. And even doing a certain styles, like towards the end and what he was gonna say different. Yep. You know what I mean? It was just classic, yo. I know that's one of Killer Khan's favorite shit right there.
All his like I actually listened to the acapella probably more than any other, than the regular version. Because he destroyed it. I still can hear the beat in my head, but like he would kind of jump off the springboard with the LL, kind of like what LL said, and would have the structure to it. But your man, like, he found his way through the whole thing, and he said it right in the beginning, like, I'm just want to pay homage to one of the greatest of all time.
Right.
And that was the point of the whole thing, And for the record, I did take the 808 off Jax the Ripper, like Jack the Ripper, like the very beginning part. But then all the samples were off Ashley's Roach clip. I reassembled all those pieces, and I don't usually toot my own horn, but I destroyed that arrangement. If you listen to the instrumental, the way things come and go, and it's so tailored to what he was doing. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things I've ever done.
Yeah, man, it was awesome.
Period.
So I have my story. So I have my Jax the Ripper story.
I don't mind. Let's talk about me and my little piece of involvement here.
So my story is I was with Jax and we ended up going to Rasta Root's house. And so Jax ended up playing Jax the Ripper. And Roots lives in a townhouse. So I'm on the first floor, second floor is the studio, the third floor is the bedroom. So he's playing it and it sounds incredible. And all I hear is, yo, what is that? Yo, that shit is dope. I was like, yo, who is this screaming? And it was like the heavens opened up. Because here is Phife Dawg from a Tribe Called Quest walking down the stairs barefoot eating Chick-fil-A ice cream. And he was like, yo, Jax, that shit is hard. And I'm like, oh shit. Oh God, it's Phife. I fangirl. I was like, oh man, it's Phife.
It happens.
It's ice cream with no shoes or socks on. I saw Phife's toes. They were ashy. But yo, and I'm just like, he was like, yo, how you doing? He was like, yo, how you doing? I'm Malik. I was like, hi, Malik.
Yeah. I know who you are.
No, I know who you are. But that day, I was just like, man, I tell that story enough.
You can tell me that story anytime.
I would tell it to you anytime, but it was just like, yo, I met Fife, and Jax the Ripper is the reason why I met Fife. So
It's
yeah,
amazing. That's amazing.
Yes,
You're like,
it is.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know that, man. That was dope.
Yeah.
So,
you didn't know that on Flux?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right. From my side, that Jax told me, he's playing this out. He's playing. I don't think it was all the way together yet, but he's playing. You know, I don't know if it was all done or whatever, but Fife was in the house and he was aware that he was there, but he didn't like really respond to nothing until that came on. And the way he described it was, and again, I'm just relaying the story, he's just like nonchalantly, it's just playing. But when Jax the Ripper came on, he got up and was like, that's dope. You know what I mean? Like he had, he chimed in like, there it is, So I always I cherished that story. I didn't really ever tell anybody that, that was my own little,
I've never heard
nerdy
that story.
Yeah. But just, hey, I collect music. I've been collecting music forever. I don't put people, except for Master Ace, that was a little weird. You know what I mean? I don't put people too high up. But yeah, I fanned out hard with Master Ace, But to get a little story, like somebody that I respect and have a bunch of their music, they appreciated something I did. It felt mad good. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It had me flying for a while, Yeah.
What's up, man?
All right. This ain't about me, though. So, Kaos, you got something else coming up? I have the Chaos Effect album in the mixtape.
I apologize, but I have a bad habit of like, I'll ask a question that's already been asked.
Oh, more. I'm sorry.
Yep. Yeah. I have a bad habit of that, but I'm just curious of how Chaos, like how he got, how he connected with them. Like it sounded like he wasn't part of the original formation of it. So I'm just curious because I wasn't sure if I missed that part or whatever. But so just real quick, this past week has been an amazing week. From the moment we put up the flyer for the show, like the feedback from the flyer has blown me away. Like it's I have so much love for y'all scene now that I wasn't even aware of how amazing the scene was until I've gotten so many quality people that have followed me on my Instagram because of that flyer. It's been blowing me away. And one of the great parts of the week was when I got a follow from Chaos. And like I went and I looked at his Instagram and I went through his stuff and I'm like, yo, this dude is dope. Like so I'm just like so I don't know if I was upstairs using the bathroom when it was said, but I didn't hear how he got brought into the group, and I'm very curious about that.
You didn't miss nothing at all, man. I mean, we touched on a little with Maf earlier. When I was 16, 17 years old, in the battle circuit in Atlanta, going out trying to do shows and open mics, Binkis was already established. How Many Lumps was probably already out. Lumps 2 was probably, about to come out. It had already been out. So Binkis was already a name, in the scene and in the city. And they were already kind of doing their thing. I was a part of another group. And as that group kind of went on and did our things, I started hanging around Jax and Flux, and we were doing shows together. And being at Jay Force's show, and he premiered records, we up there trying to premiere records. So we were just kind of in the same circuit, the same scene, all day. So we saw each other all the time, but really it was, I think for me, I used to go through Fat Beats. I used to, cut school and go through Fat Beats, and Jax was working at Fat Beats when we had one in Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
And I used to, and I used to hang out up there for hours, just, not even buying nothing, just what y'all playing, listening to music and discovering music and having conversations about music. And, I told Jax, and Jax saw kind of what I was trying to do, and I would always ask for advice. And like, I'm trying to do this. How I get shows? How, I get this record out? How can I get this? And he always offered guidance, especially after I bugged him enough. And so, it kind of became just more like, more like a mentor. And, him and Flux, they were always there to be able to answer questions, give advice, provide guidance, to try to figure this thing out and just kind of navigate this grind. So essentially, I mean, you talking over a decade, probably, plus, I just kind of became more into the fold. We started collaborating more on music, put them on the first 12-inch that I came out with, featuring on Jackson's joint. We did a bunch of mixtape joints together and then just working on different projects and just building like that. And, just kind of became fam over the years. And, even after Jack's passed, like Flux mentioned earlier, just, going through the crib, going through the Binkis Bakery, knocking out, projects and mixtapes and going over there to record things and doing shows together and traveling together and hitting the road and driving to New York and doing this and doing that. So it's just over time, man, just became fam. It's a very organic thing. And, now we look at this, it's 20 years later and, we still here able to talk about music and stories and still working on new things as well. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, the legacy lives.
We adopted that cat right there.
Yeah,
I
signed papers,
We adopted him, man, because I remember that people talk about him coming up in Fat Beats and shit. And we used to watch him with his other group, you know what I'm saying? And we always appreciated their uniqueness and their originality and the stuff that they would do, you know what I'm saying? Like they had their own antics too and shit, you know what I'm saying? Yep. So we appreciated their authenticity. But I remember Jax coming home and was like, yo, man, I like Kaos, man. I like little kid Kaos. I was like, word, man. I was like, yeah, he cool. He's like, yeah, man, there's just something about that dude, man. I like him. And we started really fucking with him like the little brother back then. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a natural, organic thing. It was nothing. It was all based on what we was doing, but it was nothing like, yo, we gonna do this. We gonna, you know what I'm saying? It was a natural thing. It
was an organic friendship. Yeah, built up organically by kicking it. Chaos, do you remember recording with them for the first time? Like, you remember what song you did, or you have any of those memories?
Yeah, I think the first one was probably Mic Club, which I put out on the first 12-inch I did. Yeah. And had Jackson Flux on it. And that's
recorded at that crib?
I don't remember where we recorded it, to be honest.
No, I think we recorded at Babgate crib.
Okay. That sounded about right.
Yeah.
Was that around when remember niggas, everybody got sick on the Thanksgiving?
Off the food, yeah.
Was it bad?
Yeah.
Was it bad green beans? What happened?
We had a bad batch of macaroni or something.
Yeah,
the chicken tastes like wood.
It ain't taste bad.
The food was good. The food was good. It just ain't.
The effect was bad.
Yeah, the effect was bad.
Everybody was hitting the toilet except me. No.
Did you cook it? Who was the shit? Was it a communal dish?
Nah, the chef shall remain nameless.
Okay. Understood.
Yeah,
understood.
But, I mean, thanks for mentioning that, man, because, Billy Bathgate, the homie Bathgate, was, he was kind of a big piece during that time. Bathgate had a setup in his crib, and he had the rolling 1880, whatever, board he had, equipment he had. And
that digital joint?
Went through, yeah.
Yeah,
I know the piece. Yep.
And, Bathgate had bought a crib way out, and we would just all end up at his crib, but it was so far that, you couldn't just go there and come back. So we go there and stay for days. We go out there, spend the night, stay for a couple of days, whatever, and just literally work on music. Just him and his setup, that helped as well, man, just to integrate us.
Yeah. How'd y'all bug out? You just get a beat going? Would you guys ever just start rhyming, just clowning? And then a song turned out of that? You have any memories of that? Or was it like a beat was on, or song idea, song title?
I mean, that was just kind of sometimes our way of recording. Like, if you really want to look at it like that, the marquee was done like that. Because I know it was one Saturday morning and Jax was playing these records. You know what I mean? Because we would do that sometimes. Like, we had our own little stuff going on. So some Saturdays we started calling that shit Thug Saturday. We be playing some thug music and shit. And then Sunday we be playing like soul music and shit like that. So we had our thing. But this particular Saturday, I think Jax was cleaning up. He was playing some records. And that joint came on. And it was just like, yo, I ran in there. I was like, yo, you should loop that joint up. And he was like, word. He looped the joint up. And then we did the marquee. Like, I wrote something, he wrote something. And then we did something else that day too. But even with not Beat You in the Head, but Binkis Knots Landing joint, or How Many Lumps Part 2, excuse me, Not Landing was something else we was gonna do. But even a lot of songs on that. And I mean, that's the way Beat You in the Head came into play. It was me, we was in the swing box.
That's what I should have asked you first. Like, how the hell did y'all get to that vibe?
Yo, we were just in there drinking, cash and cream, and I was playing records, and that Al Green joint came on, and I looked at him, I was like, yo, I'm gonna loop this joint up. And he's like, go ahead. So I looped it up, and then we wrote the rhymes and just laid it. So there's a lot of records like that. Bullet, even Bullet. Like, Jax had the idea to make the beat out of that song.
That Steve McQueen,
So he was like, yo, I've been wanting to make a beat out of this. So he made the beat. And I think I don't know where we came back from. It was either Mom's crib or somebody else's crib. And he's playing the beat. He's like, yo, that shit's nasty. Me and Killer was like, oh, that shit's nasty. He was like, yo, y'all ain't got no rhymes, though. He was like, what you got? We got no rhymes for this joint. I got some joints, and Killer got some joints, and then we laid it that night. We laid it rough, and then we went over to my crib and did it again. Like,
got it done.
The process, like, we have songs that we want to do, right? We have tracks and stuff, but then there's a lot of stuff that's spontaneous that we just create on the same spot. Like, Don't Take It Personal. When we did it over the Jermaine Jackson joint, that was one of them. Yo, we should loop that up. You know what I'm saying? We did it right then. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of those types of joints.
They speak to that the unplanned, like the off the cuff kind of thing, like those extra tracks, you know, the extra bullshit in the ad lib tracks. That stuff is gold, man. It's kind of like peeking behind the curtain and getting a sense of what it was like, you know, doing that, during the process. What I was just going to ask you was, did Jax have a verse for Bullet, or was he always just going to do the hook?
He was just like, I'm gonna do the hook.
Yeah.
He was like,
so he called you out for not having no verse, but you didn't have one.
I don't think he was even concerned about rhyming to that joint.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
happy making that beat.
And the shit about it was, like, when we laid the rough, like, we knew that shit was gonna kill. Like, we just knew that shit, because he was hyped about just making the chorus. He's like, yo, I'm gonna get the chorus together. And once he put the chorus in, it was just like, yeah, this shit is. And I remember the first time we performed it, he was at Cotton Club. And it's like this club at the bottom of the Tabernacle out here. And we was doing the show. We was like, I think it was us, Psycho, Phenomenal Good Song, and them. And we was like, yo, we gonna pull that Bullet shit out tonight. And boy, when we hit that stage with that joint, you just couldn't deny it. Cats were just like,
I can appreciate it. I was like when I first heard it.
It was a different tone. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knew Binkis, but that song right there set a different tone immediately.
And that beat, that beat is 107 BPMs. Don't ask me how I know that.
We don't count BPMs over here, man.
No, but I'm saying it's upbeat. I mean, most of the stuff we love is like 95. You know what I mean? 85 to 95. But Bullet is $107, and it's just got a different. It's got a different energy to that.
Different balance. Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
We come from an era, you know what I'm saying, that we appreciate up-tempo shit.
So that reminds me of a story. So EPMD's second album is Time to Party, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember talking about Unfinished Business with Jax, and I said, yo, I love that whole album except for the party joint. Like, I don't feel that. And he was like, yo, that's that.
Yeah, that's one of the best shits on that joint. Yo.
He sent me back to the board. I was like, oh, maybe what am I not, why am I looking at this wrong or whatever? And I went back. I'm like, oh, I ain't supposed to be thinking. I'm supposed to just have a good time listening to this,
I mean, for us, it's that sample, man. That sample was a classic soul record. You know what I'm saying? That's the shit in the party where you just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
None of, like, you getting busy on that shit. So
right.
That shit we listened to growing up. You know what I mean?
I didn't go to a lot of parties growing up, so that's why it flew over my head at first. I'll never forget that. He's like, what?
You ain't had no family parties and shit?
I guess we weren't playing that record,
We
weren't playing that record, Nah, we didn't have a lot of dance parties. Mom always played Earth, Wind and Fire. That was her shit. Like, it was always Earth, Wind and Fire records. So I never had to buy any of those. I got them, I never forget that. It's like, how you ain't like that, But all right. So listen, we've been going, and I want to keep the show nice and tidy so we can put it on YouTube and whatnot. I appreciate y'all so much. Anything else? Mortal, did we get any questions from the chat?
Nah, just cats showing love. I'm curious.
Yeah, that's great.
I guess I have two questions.
Okay.
One is what's next? Because from the reaction that I got from just the flyer alone, there's so much love for you guys. So I'm just curious, like what's on the horizon?
Man, shoot, I know Kaos is working on stuff all the time. He got something coming out. They got the Ultra Beast joint out right now. You know what I'm saying, with him and 4 Eyes. As far as Binkis, we about to restructure. So there's some stuff coming. You know what I'm saying? My man Word to AOS working on the EP right now.
Yeah.
And I just laid some vocals over there yesterday. I'm trying to get my features up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I know we laid something with Chaos and them last week. So that's about to make some little headway. So, thing is, like, we never stopped recording. You know what I'm saying? We definitely never stopped writing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's stuff in the stash, but how we approach it is going to be a little different. So it's some new stuff that's going to come around.
That's understandable to kind of rethink the format or whatnot, because it's undeniable,
Just growing where we at, you know what I mean? Like, there's some other stuff taking place. I don't want to speak too much on, but
I understand
we got some stuff coming, man, and it's just a different take, but same old Binkis RECS, you know what I'm saying?
That's
and
it.
There may be some shit that some people ain't even gonna really expect, but they gonna be like, oh, but that's Binkis though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I two songs more. I'll give you a start. I really love the track Flux that you did with Count Basie and H2O. I love that song so much, man.
That's my joint, man. You talking about Goddamn Soul?
Yes, sir. I feel it.
Count Basie and DJ Pocket. Shout out to them.
DJ Pocket, correct. I love that. Yeah, there was the heartfelt Jackson
Yeah.
That was on that album.
Yep, the one dedicated to Jax.
Yeah. That whole record is great, but that song in particular is bananas. And I just want to say it to your face how great it is, you know. And Chaos, and Chaos, your the spirit of Jax on the Chaos Effect.
Yeah.
I love that song. When the spirit of Jax come back, I love it, you know. And to that point, I haven't made music in a long time, so I'm glad to hear that you still want to rhyme, dude, because that's, you know, I might have to go hit some buttons over here, you know.
Word up, man.
That's inspiring. That was the time, correct. So that's why I'm doing this show. You know what I mean? I'm like, here's an opportunity to talk to some cool people and make some connections. We're all in the house anyway. Let's do something, you know? That's what it is. I'm sorry, Moto. Go ahead, man. So my bad.
Nah, you're good. This is happening because of you. So I'm here for the ride. Honestly, I'm here watching the show as a fan. I'm a new fan. I'm not gonna front to y'all. I'm a new fan, but I'm a fan now, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next and going back and seeing what has come before and trying to, you know, get comfortable with all that, because the energy that you guys put out is what I'm into. Like, I'm an East Coast kid. Like, to me, I've been raised on East Coast hip hop, and I so seeing what Atlanta's about is really opened my eyes, and I can't wait until we can travel again, because I want to come visit, because I need to see this vibe for myself, because it's amazing. Just anyway, the question. Go ahead.
No, you were saying that what you were hearing, you didn't associate with Atlanta on paper to like a casual fan, like you think of Outkast, and Goody Mob and T.I. and all that. Which all due respect to all of them, but that's kind of like what they're known for.
That's all I knew, and then to see, you know, how rich the tapestry is in Atlanta,
and then to hear this,
it's crazy. So I'm gassed to see more. I want to learn more. So I'm gonna build. I'm gonna you know I'm gonna follow and like and subscribe and all that good stuff to y'all. But the question I had was, I saw because I was going through your page, sir, of your artwork, and I saw that you had 2 pieces for sale, and I'm not sure if they're still available.
And I got one more thing we can go. Go ahead. I got
that Biz Markie joint.
Yes, that's mine.
You have it? Don't tell me you have it, yo.
He got that one. He ain't got that one.
Oh man, I saw that and I'm like, yo, can I cop this?
I still got one of them. I don't have the one off of the Diabolical, but I got the other one.
Okay.
No, you don't. It's sold. Sorry, Mortal. That shit's sold. That shit's sold. It belongs here. It'll be out of place in your spot, my dude. That belongs in this house, my guy.
Nah, because I just saw the ad was up for it, and I'm like, I hope this ad isn't an old ad, because
you got hundreds of joints for sale. You can't have my Biz Markie.
All right, okay.
Flux, that's mine.
Okay.
I didn't know you wanted that joint, man.
That sound like a bidding war, man.
Right,
that's
right,
what
yo.
It is. Right.
Right.
What it is. No, it belongs here. I just know. I had seen it before.
Nah, and, that thing is crazy.
When we were scrolling looking for pictures to post up earlier, I saw it again. I was like, man, why isn't that in my house? You know what I mean? All right. So listen, I appreciate y'all.
Man, what was the other piece you talking about?
Oh, I'm not sure. It was like you had a.
There were 2 Biz Markie joints.
No, it was 2. It was 2 paintings that you said that for a certain price you could have them both, and in that was the Biz Markie joint.
I got you. Yeah, one of them joints is gone.
All right.
But I still got that other Biz Markie.
Right,
the other one's gone too.
If it's available at any point, we'll talk about it.
All right, we'll see you on the represses. You know,
I'll take a print.
Right, folks,
I'll take a print.
We've been rocking for a minute. I appreciate you so much for coming through and giving time, listening to the stories. You guys look amazing. You look beautiful. I'm so happy we could get together and do this. And I want to thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Very pleasure.
And to answer that question from earlier, you asked about what's coming next. On my side, we dropped a part of a crew. Me and Full Eyes got a group called Ultra Beast. We dropped the album back in November called United. Check for that if you haven't. But then we got a new one coming in about a week called Rush the Court. So a new LP coming, and then there'll be a new Senor Kaos solo album before the end of 2020 coming as well. So it's a lot of new music coming for sure.
Word up, yo.
Ultra Beast or Altered, what'd you say?
Ultra Beast.
Got you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the first one right after we get. As soon as we hang up, I'm copying. So
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right. So again, I appreciate you guys. I'm saying good night. I'll let Mortal wrap up the show. He wants. You guys are free to go about your business. Lisa, thank you so much for coming through, and I appreciate talking to you this week. That meant a lot to me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Anytime you all can call me. And if you're gonna keep rhyming, I'm making beats.
Yeah, man. Them joints over, man. Stop playing.
Nah, stop playing around. All right. All right, folks. I'm falling back. It's officially over. You know. Thank you.
All right,
I love y'all.
Peace.
Love you. Love you, Kaos.
Love you too. Love all y'all. Peace.
Man, love you.
I love you.